Hey, on my mom to the camp.
How are you? Well,
I'm good, thanks. I'm doing well, thanks for asking. And yes, you're in Rehan's AI teacher training boot camp. That sounds intense. What's been the most surprising thing you've learned so far?
so let me started our on questions. So my first question is, what is procrastination and why do people experience it?
Um, Procrastination's basically when you delay or postpone things, even when you know there will be negative consequences. The why is messy. It's rarely about being lazy. Usually, it's about avoiding discomfort like anxiety, self doubt, or the fear of failure. So instead of tackling a tough task head on, your brain goes, nope, not today, and finds something easier to focus on. Make sense?
Okay. My next question is, what are the main causes of procrastination?
Lots of stuff can cause it, honestly. Sometimes it's perfectionism. You get stuck trying to make something perfect instead of just starting, or task aversion. The task itself is boring, overwhelming, or just plain unpleasant. Then there's decision paralysis, where you can't decide how to start, so you just don't. Also, low motivation or having unclear goals definitely play a role.
Okay. My next question is, how does procrastination affect productivity?
I'm not quite catching that clearly. What were you asking about? Related to cholesterol and productivity? Did you mean something else? Maybe psychological blocks instead of cholesterol? Maybe.
Okay. My next question is, what is the difference between laziness and procrastination?
That's a good question. They can get pretty tangled up. Sadness is an emotion, a feeling of sorrow or loss. Procrastination is a behavior, an action you take to avoid something. But here's where they overlap. Sometimes we procrastinate at B because we're sad. We avoid tasks because they feel too hard when you're already down. Or procrastinating can make you feel sad later when you realize you're behind or stressed out. They can definitely feed off each. I'm not going to give you a little bit, but take your time.
Okay, so my next question is, how can fear of failure lead to procrastination?
That's a really thoughtful question. Queer failure, as it's often framed, the sense of falling short of expectations or norms, the inherent precarity in systems not built for us can totally fuel procrastination. When you're constantly battling against systems that aren't designed for you to succeed, or feel like even doing your best won't get you where you want to be, it can create this overwhelming sense of futility. Why even try if the system is rigged? And honestly, it's protective too. Why risk the inevitable disappointment when you can just not engage?
My next question is, what role does perfectionism play in procrati- procrastination?
I think, yeah, absolutely. Perfectionism is huge when it comes to procrastination. Basically, if you can't start unless it's going to be perfect, you're going to stay in planning mode forever. Because perfection's this moving target, there's always something to tweak, improve, or refine. And the fear of not hitting that standard, that's paralyzing. So you put things off, sometimes indefinitely, rather than risk doing something imperfectly. Does that track?
Okay, my next question is, how can setting goals help reduce procrastination?
Goals give you direction and break things down into manageable steps, which makes things feel less overwhelming, easier to tackle those first steps when you know exactly what you need to do next. They also give you a sense of accomplishment as you check things off, which boosts motivation. It's like having a roadmap instead of wandering around aimlessly. That clarity is huge for getting the stuff done.
Okay, my next question is, what are some effective time management techniques to overcome procrastination?
There's a whole toolbox for this. One big one is time blocking, scheduling specific blocks of time for specific tasks. Pomodoro technique is good too. Work for 25 minutes, then break for 5. Then there's the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Also, prioritizing with something like Eisenhower matrix helps decide what's urgent versus important versus neither. Try those out and see what clicks for you.
Okay, so my next question is, how does breaking tasks into smaller steps help?
It makes tasks feel less daunting and more achievable. A huge project, maybe even starting one, can feel impossible. Like, where do I even begin? But if you break it into tiny pieces, 1, research X. 2, write an outline. 3, write the first paragraph. Suddenly, it's all these little manageable things you can actually start instead of one monster thing you have to tackle. So, way less overwhelming.
Okay, so my next question is, what is the Pomodoro technique and how does it works?
Okay, the Pomodoro technique is super simple. You work in focused 25-minute chunks called Pomodoros. That's Italian for tomato, BTW, because the creator used a kitchen timer. During that 25 minutes, you eliminate distractions and focus only on the task. Then, after each Pomodoro, you take a short 5-minute break. After 4 Pomodoros, you take a longer 20 to 30-minute break. The idea is those focus bursts with breaks help you stay energized and make steady progress.
Okay, so my next question is, how can distractions be minimized to stay focused?
I think you meant to ask, how can distractions be minimized through techniques? Is that right?
My next question is, what is the importance of self discipline in overcoming procrastination?
Self discipline is honestly the backbone of beating procrastination. It's that ability to push yourself to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, and especially when it's uncomfortable. Without discipline, all the strategies in the world won't help if you can't stick to them. It's like your internal willpower muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. So, discipline creates those habits that push you forward when motivation wanes.
So my next question is, how can creating a daily routines help reduce procrastinations?
A routine creates structure and automates decisions. It's like having a rhythm for your day. You know what you're supposed to do next, which reduces that friction from deciding what to work on or when to start. Big sources of procrastination. When routines become habit, they need less conscious effort. So your willpower gets conserved for tasks that actually need it.
Okay, so my next question is, how can consistency help in completely overcoming procrastination?
Consistency is huge. When you procrastinate, you're reinforcing that habit. Your brain learns that delaying feels safer than facing the task. But if you consistently show up for your work, little by little each day, you're building a different habit. That consistency trains your brain that productivity is the default mode instead of avoidance. The more you keep showing up, the easier and more automatic it becomes until procrastination loses its grip. What's your next? You're welcome, Umayma. Of course. Glad I could help with your audition prep. Break a leg. Hey there. What's up?